Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 176 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you. And to start this show, I am joined by my brother Aaron.
Hello.
And we will be joined by some others as the show goes on. I know Senior Archie Mitchell will be along shortly, and possibly the OG Kyle Army might show up too, which he probably hasn't even reviewed the show that we're going to talk about, but he's more than welcome, as always, to be on the show. This week, we are starting what Aaron has dubbed, this will be a nice autumn season here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast, as it is going to be what?
This is the fall of fuckery.
Where we are going to take 5 weeks.
Not the rise and fall of fuckery. I'm talking about the season. The season for the reason. The fall of fuckery.
We're going to be reviewing, what is it, 5, I believe, 5 terrible pay-per-views from the history of pro wrestling, going through every era almost of pro wrestling as well. This week, we start, there's some December to Dismember coming up at some point, an eruption of some sort. But this week, we are starting with probably... other than some terrible indie feds that you've seen or whatever, probably the worst major promotion to ever exist. The UWF, the Herb Abrams UWF, and their pay-per-view from 1994, Black Jack Brawl. And I want to say this before we get this series started. Has anybody ever heard the expression, Aaron? I know you have. Old chicken makes good soup.
Yes.
Yes. Well, bad wrestling makes good podcasts. So that is our goal here for the next few weeks on the We Can't Wrestle podcast.
Blacker the berries, sweeter the juice.
The best use ever of the chicken thing was Vince McMahon. I think it was SummerSlam 05 or so, or no, it was 07, because they were trying to figure out who Vince McMahon's illegitimate son was. And there was some scene with Mae Young, and she kisses Vince, and then Jonathan Coachman's like, "That was disgusting. I'm sorry, Mr. McMahon." He's like, "Wasn't that bad. You ever heard the expression, old chicken makes good soup?"
Doesn't he go, "You're disgusting."
Yes, and then Vince gives him the look, yeah. "You're disgusting, Mr. McMahon."
Yes, I am disgusting. Yeah.
So we'll get this started, and I forgot to bring it. I don't remember the show date. I know the attendance was 600. It's in 94 at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
I didn't write the date down either.
But it is the Black Jack Brawl, UWF, again, from Las Vegas, Nevada.
MGM Grand.
Yes. Herb Abrams, UWF, we've discussed one of their shows before, I think the beach thing or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, whew, buddy, you want to hear some great stories or not so great stories or whatever about Herb Abrams, a guy that actually dealt with him business-wise and everything. Listen to John Arezzi's show. He's got a lot to say about Herb Abrams and a lot of personal one-on-one stories dealing with this wackadoodle. But
I don't know if he was a little man or a large midget. I don't know.
Like CeeLo Green.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what's going on with you.
I know he's fucking nuts. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he looks like somebody half melted a candle and then threw a bunch of pubic hair on it. That's what he looks like. I also don't know how he got all his money.
I think he looks like a cracked out Danny DeVito, but
well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what his story is as far as getting his money either. I don't know.
He said a cracked out Danny DeVito. I'm like, yeah. A melted candle with pubic hair on it. Danny DeVito.
Well, the opening video for this pay-per-view I put down has assorted promos and Herb Abrams screaming.
Yes.
Essentially. And that is essentially it. He's just screaming about the show. And it shows Dan Spivey beating him up at one point. I don't know the context of that, but Dan Spivey beating up Herb Abrams in the opening video. And then, of course, the only way you can start this pay-per-view is Herb Abrams in the ring screaming.
Yes, the reason Dan Spivey was beating up Herb Abrams is because Dan Spivey thought he should be considered the person to face Dr. Death, and they named Sid the number one contender. And his thing was like, this young kid, I brought him up, and you're overstepping me for it. That was what they were doing. I shouldn't know that, but I do. Oh, yes. Like I want to preface this by saying I am not a UWF historian. I'm very good at deciphering shit wrestling. That's like not a task any human being practically needs, but I'm good at it, I guess.
Well, and Abrams, I don't know. He has some kind of a, what do you want to say? Some kind of a. He was able to convince a lot of fucking wrestlers to come and work in his shit shows. You know, like.
Well, I mean, he was giving them. I don't know. That's the thing. I've always took it as he didn't stiff the wrestlers. He stiffed the people that were the non-wrestling people that were like trying to help him or the buildings. But I don't ever hear him stiffing a work like a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least probably not the bigger guys. But it was like, oh, if I have to pay Sid, I'm just not going to like give them building their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm just gonna fucking use this Arezzi guy to do all this work and then just not pay him. Like he didn't stiff the people, like the workers, from everything I understood.
Well,
it could be.
He's in the ring when he opens the show with Black Jack Mulligan in the ring with him. And then our announcers for the show are some guy named Carlo. I didn't write down his last name, and John Tolos.
Carlos Gianella and John Tolos.
Yes, they are the announcers for the show.
I don't know how much of the audio you're going to play on this, but
well, I have a specific one that I just want to play at the beginning here, but
okay,
to make my point about something. Well, no, you have something on John and Carlos here at their open.
Carlos is Carlo, but anyway,
Carlo.
They just hyped the UWF, the upcoming card, saying it's one of the hugest cards in wrestling history. And then Tolos just ends it by telling this Carlo Gianelli guy that he's cheap because he's an Italian.
Oh, yes.
Italiano, that's what he's like, you're cheap because you're an Italiano.
And then they said, I think they make a Greek joke as well.
Yeah, throughout the entire show, they're just saying racist comments back to each other.
Well, the opening match of this show is Johnny Ace versus Dan Spivey. And we'll get into this train wreck, but I wrote down this ring announcer is ridiculous. And
yes,
the ring announcer is like a mix of, and I don't know how many of the old WWF Spectrum shows you've seen, but there was a ring announcer guy that would do those old WWF Spectrum shows, and he would yell like this, and it's the Spectrum, and and it was just like insane. But this ring announcer is a mix of that guy and Burt Reynolds at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, his name's Steve Rossi. I'd never heard of him. I looked him up. He had apparently been part of like a comedy duo. I don't remember. And then he had done shit on Stern, like when Stern was just kind of New York, I guess, and wasn't national yet. And so to me, it seemed like he was kind of a staple around the like New York, New Jersey, probably Philly area. And obviously that's where Herb's from. So I think he was just a guy that Herb thought was funny and gave him a gig. And this guy has no fucking idea what's going on.
Well, but what I mean by him being ridiculous and too much as a ring announcer is he's one of those. He's the ring announcer that doesn't just introduce the wrestlers. He does like commentary as they're coming to the ring and
and he
talks way too much.
He's just it's later on in my notes, but we're talking about it now. He's literally just saying things that he's observing.
And I want to play
here comes Dan Spivey. He's walking around right now. He's a big guy. He's walking around.
That's why I want to play this audio of him introducing.
He's got some boots.
First match. Yeah. I want to play the audio just to let everybody know what we're talking about. Just of him introducing this first match. Just to get a good
fucking leather cowboy hat. It's fucking douchebag. Go ahead.
Championship, ladies and gentlemen.
There he is.
Introducing first at a height of 6'9", 309 pounds from Tampa, Florida. How about a big round of applause for Dangerous Dan Spivey? Dangerous Dan Spivey. Let me hear it, everybody. Start yelling and shouting out there. We're going to have a great night of wrestling here at the MGM Grand Arena. Dangerous Dan Spivey.
He said his name 4 times already.
Look at this man. He'll show you some wrestling tonight. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
And now his opponent, at a height of 6'3", 3 inches tall, 275 pounds, also from Tampa, Florida. Let me hear it for the wonderful Mr. Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace. You can do better than that, folks. Let me hear it. Johnny Ace. Look at this guy. And look at this lady, his manager here. Welcome, Johnny.
Welcome, Johnny.
The music.
Now he's talking to the wrestler.
Yes. The music selections they use for entrances are terrible too.
And a nice round of applause for his manager, Miss Missy Hyatt. Let me hear it, everybody. Missy Hyatt.
Who was all the way live?
Movie stars. Yes. But yeah, there's this guy, this Jay Brown doing the ring announcing.
They picked money for nothing and for fucking Johnny Ace, and that's a song that it doesn't pick up until he gets to the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money for Nothing has a long intro of just stuff. It's a good song. I love the Dire Straits, but it's like that song doesn't pick up until he's going to be in the fucking ring.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, of course, we have the match here between Johnny Ace and Dan Spivey.
Oh, by the way, Nate, I know you said that you didn't watch the commercials.
Right.
I did. I figured if I put this fuckery on everybody, I'd sit through every minute of it. The commercials are basically, it's all videotapes for the most part. The one is for Dynamic Practice Organization with Tom Emersick. And it's basically, this guy is going to send you a video and teach you how to coach a baseball team. Okay. And this guy was apparently a baseball scout and all this other stuff. If you want to try to order this video, it's 1-800-282-5020. He might still be selling these. But then the other commercial is H30 TV Surf Sessions 94. No filler, all killer. And it's basically videos of people surfing. And there's 3 videos of it. Okay. How much, and they're all an hour long, so it's 3 hours of people surfing. How much would you be willing to spend on these surf video on the H30 TV Surf Session 94 No Filler All Killer 3 video cassette. How much would you be willing to pay?
3 easy installments of $19.95.
All right. Well, all 3 videos are $59.95 plus shipping and handling.
Hey, I pretty much got it. 3 easy installments. It was $60. There you go.
Yeah. So you were right on the money. Of watching people surf. Anyway.
Not that I would pay that, but I was just taking a guess on what might be the price.
That is fucking ridiculous. Could you imagine a 94 if we told Mom, "Hey, I want $60 to buy these videos of people surfing"? Like, get the fuck out of here. Go do the dishes.
Play in that water.
Yeah. 10 over the sink. But anyway.
Well, this match, I'm just looking at my notes like, God, this was terrible.
I have these notes. When the announcer has to ask you to cheer, it's fucking done. Like, you're done. The show's done at the beginning. If he's just like, come on, you can do better than that.
You can do better than that, Johnny Ace.
Oh.
Yeah, the match isn't great. Spivey's never great anyway. Essentially, Missy Hyatt winds up throwing in the towel to give Spivey the win here. I don't remember. I did a terrible job of writing notes on this match. A lot of times, if a match loses me, I do a bad job of writing notes down.
I do a better job when it's terrible. Because when it engrosses me, I'm not writing stuff down. I'm watching and I'm paying attention to the match. But when it's terrible, I'm paying attention to the crowd, what the commentators are saying, or whatever. Like, I'm telling you, man, the fall of fuckery, it's like my jam. Like, bad wrestling is my shtick here. But like, that's essentially my notes. When your announcer has to ask you to cheer, it's fucking done. Ace out to money for nothing. Doesn't kick in until he's already in the ring. Missy Hyatt looking all the way live. Dan Spivey wins the match by a towel toss because he's got Who's Johnny, and why didn't he come out to that? Who's Johnny? You know that song? Yeah, that should have been his music. But anyway, she ends up tossing in the towel, even though he didn't want her to, and he wasn't really in a compromising position. Missy tosses the towel, and it is revealed that Missy has turned on Ace and is now with Dan Spivey and helped him become the new America's champion. And Herbie is pissed.
Yes, Spivey even roughs up Herb Abrams. After this, we're joined now. We've only got through the first match, Archie. We're joined by Archie Mitchell.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry I'm so late, but I had to get some stuff together. So
no problem. We essentially have covered the opening with Herb Abrams screaming. That was the horrific ring announcer who just won't stop talking.
Can you? I gotta ask a question. Did anyone else realize that the two ring announcers that were calling the action, went really racist like 5 minutes in?
Yes, we did discuss that.
Okay, so I wasn't the only one who caught it when he said, "I'm Greek, I always pay." Did you? The other guy says no, and he goes, "You must be an Italian." I was like, "What? What are we witnessing right now?"
Italiano. And then I can ask you this, and you might not know, but you're from that area. I read up on Steve Rossi, the ring announcer. Do you remember that guy? Because he was like, basically, he was a Stern guy, and they said he was like a comedy duo with some other fuck around New Jersey.
I might have seen him around on Howard Stern, but I did not know he was a ring announcer. What I do know of him from watching the show,
he's not a ring announcer.
Well, whatever he was, Who the hell talks over the wrestlers' and entrances?
Yes, that was what I said. I said there was a guy, I don't know his name, and I told Aaron, and the listeners are going to have to hear me repeat it because I wanted to let you know what I said. But there was a guy that used to announce the old Spectrum WWF shows that would like scream into the microphone.
Right.
And then this guy was like a mixture of that guy and Burt Reynolds at WrestleMania 10.
Yes. Oh, God. Perfect call. I mean, I must have heard him say, let's give this guy a big ovation. Mind you, there's 100 people in the crowd. Who are we talking to exactly?
How about Johnny Ace coming out here? Johnny Ace, give it up for Johnny Ace.
Yeah, and Johnny Ace is pissed.
And then he said, "Look at him!
Look at him!
You got violation."
At one point, Missy Hyatt came out for the second match, and I guess she was talking to him, and he literally said into the mic, "You have no heart." And I'm like, wait a minute, was that part of the script, or is he going off script right now?
We're also joined. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I'm just saying, to me, when somebody goes, "Look at him," that's not a compliment.
Look at him.
Look at him. Look at him over there.
Look at.
We're also joined here by the OG of the We Can't Wrestle podcast, Mr. Kyle Army. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hi.
I know you
What's
didn't
up,
get. I'm assuming you haven't watched this Black Jack Brawl.
No.
Abortion that we watched.
Thank God. Thank God you didn't.
You can obviously comment on the wrestlers and stuff as we go through, though.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Fucking time is not that I have a lot of these days. Between work and the fucking tattoo apprenticeship, I don't have a lot of time.
What's gonna be fun though is describing this fucking thing to somebody that didn't see it, just to hear the confusion in their voice. That's what's gonna be fun.
Fair enough.
Well, moving on from Johnny Ace and Dan Spivey.
We had 2 commercials.
Oh, yes. Aaron watched the commercials. I fast-forwarded through them.
Yeah, no, I watched them too. Why were there commercials on a pay-per-view?
I think this might have been...
This wasn't a pay-per-view.
I think it was broadcast on Sports Channel or something.
It was on Sports Channel.
Okay.
No, this wasn't
a pay-per-view. I retract my statement.
The commercials here are Budweiser presents the Rolling Stones at the MGM Grand, and then a commercial for the MGM Grand Casino. Okay. And then a commercial for a magazine. It's bi-monthly for $19.95 subscription. Log Home Living Magazine. All the interesting, ever-changing things you need to know about living in a log home. Bi-monthly.
Is there really that much about log cabins?
That's why it's bi-monthly and not monthly. I mean,
right.
Still, though, I would once a year, maybe.
Right.
But you look at the fucking log cabin, it's like
Kyle, one of the magazines is titled "Termites and How They're Destroying Our Log Cabin."
Yes. Or you caught a possum. What to do with it next?
What's the centerfold? Fucking.
It's a beaver.
Yeah, it's a full beaver shot.
Whoa! I missed this.
Well, the next match on this. Oh, go ahead, Archie.
If you subscribe to Log Cabin bi-monthly, you also get subscribed into the Acts of the Month Club.
You also get a free flannel.
And a free flannel, exactly. You get a lot for $19.99.
Yeah, you do. That's in 1994 money. The next match on this show is Mondo Guerrero against a dude named Jack Armstrong. What I will say, the announcer Carlo continually calls Mondo Guerrero Mondo Garrayo.
Yeah, he can't. That's in my notes.
He also called him, if I'm not mistaken, a lazy Mexican at one point.
I'm sure he did.
When Jack Armstrong was jumping around,
that's probably John Torres.
No, it was not John Torres. John Torres was putting Mondo over as a legendary Mexican star, and the other announcer said, "Look at Jack Armstrong. He's fit. He's in great shape. Look at him move around the ring." Look at Mondo
right.
sitting there like a lazy Mexican on the turnbuckle.
But isn't he?
You're right. Because he this fucking Carlo guy doesn't know what he's doing. Because Jack Armstrong is being a heel as much as he's capable of doing, and he's like talking shit to the crowd. But Carlo's like, oh, he's entertaining the people. He's doing this. He's doing that. It's like, no, you fucking moron. He's being a heel.
I went to get food today, and there was it reminded me of this because there was that guy that went before me, and he was this old guy, and he like walked in to me Ranchitos, and he's like looking through all of the takeout bags. And the guy's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I got an order." He's like, "What'd you have?" He's like, "I had the chimichanga."
Chimichanga.
That's funny.
So I want to do this really quick, Aaron.
Is he? I'm sorry. Armstrong, is he related to like Bullet?
No, do not.
No way, no how.
How do you get that? Like, that's a pretty fucking like
legendary name.
Yeah, it's like when they bring in a fucking like a fake Anderson and a fake like it just like what the fuck?
He looks like a fucking he looks like the Geico caveman.
Yeah, he's a turd. But because
Aaron says, "Don't you dare!"
Yeah,
don't you even think
greatest wrestling family of all time. Don't put that on them.
Because Kyle did not actually watch the show, and knowing that this show is ridiculous and ludicrous and racist and just the worst of wrestling that you can possibly have, I want to give you one guess, Kyle, just one, as to what song Mondo Guerrero came out to on this show.
It's either going to be La Cucaracha or Lowrider.
Can I tell him?
Those are both good guesses.
Can I tell him, though?
Archie, you may do the reveal, yes.
Mondo Guerrero came out to Rico Suave.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
No, he didn't. He came out to Weird Al's parody of Rico Suave.
Yes.
Taco Grande.
Taco Grande.
Yes. I thought it was Rico Suave. I'm sorry.
Taco. Grande.
Chili relleno.
Speaking of
and they just had that playing.
and two steak picados.
Speaking of Weird Al, I'm excited for that fucking biopic.
Same.
Yeah, me too. Daniel Radcliffe actually looks just like him.
Then the greatest thing about it is totally Weird Al because it is not a biopic. No. It is an exaggeration of it. I love that. I love that he is like in the movie. Weird Al is fucking Madonna. Like that's like the greatest fucking like it's so wonderful. Anyway, he came out to Taco Grande.
Speaking of biopics, that Dahmer thing on that and Netflix, that was not the rom-com I thought it would be. Dear Lord.
Oh yeah, guy that fucking chopped off dudes' dicks and fucking cooked them.
I'm just saying, all the people that were like, "This is disturbing." It's like, what did you think it was going to be? You
I told Kendall, I was like, man, this is a dark take on Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Geico Caveman versus Mondo Guerrero, Taco Grande. Carlo doesn't understand what a fucking heel on a face is. Nate, you got anything else before we go to the finish? Archie, any of you guys?
I like that Jack Armstrong was being his manager was Wish.com Gary Hart.
Which they never said what his manager's name was.
No, they never did. They never did. But he just looked like Gary Hart to me, minus the goatee and any kind of charisma whatsoever.
At some point, his manager should have been like, "I'm gonna tell you something, Ricky Flair."
How does it feel like fucking Gary Hart? I don't think Gary Hart wants Hart.
His manager, Nate will get this. His manager looked like Vincent Price from Batman. Like
Egghead.
Yes, he did. Yeah. You're right.
Excellent.
Then we get the wonderful finish.
Is it a roll up?
Two shitty. No, it was two shitty elbows. And now Jack Armstrong is your new light heavyweight champion
of the UWF. Congratulations, right. Jack. And Herb Abrams comes back out again.
Oh God,
he was all over the show.
Well, here's my note about Herb Abrams here, and I'm glad everybody is here now because I didn't want to just present this to Aaron. I wanted to present it to everybody else. If I didn't know that Tony Khan was born in 1982,
right,
I would think that Tony Khan was Herb Abrams reincarnated.
Right.
He's just coked out all over his own show.
Just shittier.
His hair is all disheveled.
He has a look. Yeah. He has no idea what the fuck is going on at any time.
But at least he's interesting.
Back to the opening for a second. You hear this voiceover.
At least he's got a personality and doesn't just look in the camera like a fucking doe-eyed dead brain motherfucker.
In the opening, I heard the voiceover, and I'm like, okay, interesting voiceover. And then I go, and now to Mr. Electricity, Herb Abrams, and it's him. And I'm like, so wait, you announced yourself?
Yes, he did.
In a third person?
Electricity?
Yes, yeah, Mr. Electricity, Herb Abrams.
I don't know.
By the way, he's not believable or intimidating, or when he's mad, he looks retarded. Pardon me for using such a bad word, but he looks. I don't know.
There's a lot of.
I asked Nate the big question: Is Herb Abrams a little man or a large midget? I don't know which one he is.
I'm gonna go with little man. I'm definitely going to go with little man.
Electricity isn't one of them.
Right.
Well, after the match...
are you going to go into the promo?
Yes. It's got a great line in the promo.
I know, but did you...
It's the line I have written down.
There's two great lines in there.
Well, I only have one written down.
I know, and I know which one Nate likes because we've liked this since we were kids. But Herb comes up to interview Jack Armstrong, and did you guys hear what he called him? What Jack Armstrong called Herb Abrams?
What?
Herb Abrams comes up and he's like, "Tell us about your match, Jack Armstrong." And he said, "Listen to me, Herb, you little sick bastard."
At least he was accurate.
Yeah, like Jack ain't lying. Go ahead.
And then also, Jack says, and I quote, "I'm a thinker, not a stinker."
Oh, okay.
And he's bleeding from the top of his head. It's like, who bleeds from the top of their head? What is going on?
Where his bald spot was. Like, why are you bleeding from there?
It's pretty rough.
It is. Up next, we get a promo from Sunny Beach.
Wait, there's a commercial.
Oh, Aaron's got commercials.
Sunny Beach.
Yes. Sunny Beach. We're going to get there. The commercials are for Belfort Championship Ring, which isn't whatever. And then the other one is for the Jeff Foxworthy "You Might Be a Redneck If" video. And
man, that really went nowhere.
It is like a cheesy awards show promo commercial being like, the best winner for redneck comedy is "You Might Be a Redneck If" Jeff Foxworthy. And Jeff Foxworthy shows up and he's fucking hawking his shit fucking comedy. Fucking hack. But go ahead. Fucking hack.
Well, we have a Sunny Beach promo leading into his matchup coming up, and I can't get over it. So I want to share it again.
You can't get over
it. This is where I actually wrote down the thing about the ring announcer. So I'm gonna put this here. One more, I'm sorry, folks, indulge me. one more shitty audio of this ring announcer. And Kyle?
Yeah.
You heard me say earlier, or you may not have. I don't know if you were here when I said it, but he's like Burt Reynolds at WrestleMania 10. Like he's just screaming and he doesn't know when to stop talking. Listen to this ring announcer as he introduces.
He's a fucking asshole, and I hope he's dead.
This match between Sunny Beach and some J-bro named Dr. Feelgood.
Who didn't come out to Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue.
Right, yeah.
Before we even start, like, how fucking unprofessional is it that he has a piece of paper?
Right.
Hold it up.
Yeah, it's not even a card. It's like loose leaf paper.
Hold it in a fucking 4 squares. It's like he's had it in his back pocket. What the fuck?
All right, so listen to this jabron.
Weighing 280 pounds, 6'6" tall, from Santa Monica, California. Let me hear it for Sunny Beach.
Jesus,
Sunny
that mullet.
Beach.
And the crowd goes mild.
Sunny Beach, ladies and gentlemen, from Santa Monica, California.
Oh.
That ring had no give.
Yeah.
And his opponent, at a height of 6'7" tall, weighing 240 pounds, No Mercy Hospital chief physician. Let me hear it for Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood. Come out here, doctor.
Come out here, doctor.
And his manager, Missy Hyen. Come on, everybody. Let me hear
Oh,
for these
poor
two
Missy.
wonderful talents.
This.
Oh, she was running through the deck. She was all right.
Yeah, true. That's
Dr.
Feelgood.
Feelgood and Missy. Let's get rocking and rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
Wouldn't it have been better for him to come out to Dr. Feelgood?
Yes, it would have.
You know?
I mean, it would have been better for him not to come out at all.
Right.
Yeah. It's clumpy.
Yeah, the ring announcer's just like, let's hear it for Dr. Feelgood. There he is. He's coming down the aisle. He's got boots on. He's
come out, doctor.
And everybody in the crowd is like, I'm glad these were free with our comped room.
Yeah. It's Clumpy Beach versus Dr. Douchebag.
Well,
Aaron,
Archie.
Train.
It was not a good match. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
and it was way too long.
You're
These guys should have got 4 minutes.
You're telling me that Dr. Feelgood versus Sunny Beach wasn't a fucking 5-star classic?
Maybe to Dave Meltzer.
I can't fucking believe it.
Oh, I don't know if it's like they both look like molesters. I'm just gonna say it.
So obviously, how many matches are we into this card?
This is the third.
These guys weren't the opening match like that.
No, the opening match is for the American title.
What the fuck? So you have an American title, you have a light heavyweight title.
I think UWF had about 7 belts.
This is the only match that isn't for a belt.
Right.
And they just call it a special television match. It's Dr. Fingerbang and Clumpy Beach or whatever his fucking name is. And Doctor Show Me Where He Touched You on the bear or whatever ends up throwing dumping what looks like a bunch of printer ink onto a towel and suffocating Clumpy Beach with it, or attempting to, but he reverses it and puts the printer ink into Dr. McStuffins and ends up pinning him 1, 2, 3.
I am. You guys know I pride myself on knowing a lot of wrestling history and obscure wrestlers and all that. But does anybody know who the fucking Dr. Feelgood was?
No. He looked familiar though, like he might have been a jobber.
The only thing that I know he was registered.
He's on a list.
Carry a firearm?
He is on a database.
He's not allowed. He's not allowed within 100 yards of a school. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Apparently, Dr. Feelgood was only used at the Black Jack Brawl and never seen again under that name. He was, however, known under another name, and that was Mr. Outrageous Al Burke. So he just got all the winners. He got all the winning gimmicks in the UWF.
And with his record, he has to have an assumed name. So,
yes. Uncle Touchy.
Uncle. That's what Herb called him when they weren't on TV.
Uncle Touchy. Well, because after this match, because they suckered Blackjack Mulligan into being a part of this, probably because he printed the money for Herb Abrams.
He was like, "You still got that press?" And he's like, "Damn right."
How much you need?
I'm sorry, I popped myself on that joke.
That was funny.
We get Blackjack Mulligan, Missy Hyatt, and Herb Abrams in the ring, talking about how later on they're all going to share an 8-ball.
Later,
they probably already did.
Prior to the show, I'm sorry, prior to the show, they shared an 8-ball.
They're going to later too, but
Mulligan still has some in his mustache.
Yeah.
Herb's trying to get to it. Like, give me that. I'm coming down.
Let me suck your mustache.
Let me suck your mustache.
I find it funny that Blackjack asked the same question Kyle did. How many more matches we got tonight?
That'd be the name of the show. That Blackjack Brawl review. Let me suck your
mustache.
Oh my god.
I know you popped yourself with the printing money thing, but I just popped myself with let me suck your mustache.
Oh. Wow.
That might be. You know that I'm not saying I'm anything like him, but you know that bit where Carlin talks about like sentences that have never been said before out loud.
That might be one of them.
Okay.
So Blackjack tries to get the show going a little better, and asks Herb Abrams, "How many more matches we got?" And Herb replies, I believe something like, "Oh, we're only in the beginning of the show. We still got 2 hours left. Don't worry about it." And Blackjack then goes on to say, "Well, these guys have been wrestling all over the world, and they're some of the best and brightest. So you get ready for some of the most hardcore extreme moments of the night." And I'm sitting there going, "Who is he talking about exactly?"
Oh, you're
because there's 4 big names on this entire card. So I didn't know Sunny Beach was in New Japan.
Well, up next, the next match.
Well, there's also Herb Abrams says that Bruno Sammartino was supposed to be there, but he's being honored by the Italian Heritage Society, which is why he's not in attendance. And
tell him what Blackjack says.
I don't remember what he said.
Blackjack says, "What do you mean he's being audited?" And Herb repeats, "No, honored. He's being honored."
What do you mean?
He said, I thought I heard something about him being audited so many years ago. I don't know. He's in trouble with the law. And it kind of made me wonder, was Bruno Sammartino's a tax evader? What is he getting to here?
The IRS agent is like, "Bruno, we have all these papers and these these undocumented checks from 1963, and Bruno's like, "Let me tell you,
I'll tell you."
Basically,
Vince McMahon, he's a pedophile.
Basically, they apparently probably hyped Bruno being there, and then Bruno was like, "Fuck this," and just said that he was being honored by the Italian Heritage Society. And then before we get into the next match, there's a commercial, and it's for real life giant construction equipment for kids. Like I'm talking about this commercial because I want people that don't know to understand how ridiculous video cassettes were in the 80s and 90s, especially into the 90s. They would fucking put anything.
Are you talking about the tapes where it's like fucking trains and more trains?
Yeah. And it was just videos of trains. And
for 3 easy installments.
They were all produced by Good Times Video. That was I always remember that at the back of every fucking video. It says Good Times Video. And like Kyle said, trains, more fucking trains. And it was just trains going down the track, and people would pay for this shit.
My favorite commercial, Aaron, was at the beginning of the show. It was a surf lessons tape.
Yeah, it wasn't even lessons.
It wasn't right. Just watch people surf.
And it was 3 videos for $59.95.
Right.
You stayed up till like 3 a.m. You would get Girls Gone Wild, and then like right after you would get like, these are the greatest gospel songs of the night.
Yep. And if you act now, we'll throw in live gospel.
And right after that, they're like, and for an extra $15.95, we'll put in Girls Gone Gospel.
You won't believe what these nuns do underneath.
None ain't the word for these ladies.
It's girls that go woo. It's girls that go woo, and girls that go Jew.
Watch Sister Mary Charlotte. Watch Sister Mary Charlotte drink a hurricane out of a beaker.
Yeah. He's gonna eat nerds out of Father Johnson's butthole. Like, it's like, what is going on? But this commercial, like I said, is real life giant construction equipment for kids, hosted by Hard Hat Harry.
I thought you were going to say hosted by Dorf.
No, it's not Dorf. At first, I thought they were going to say at first, I was worried they were going to say Hard Body Harrison. And I was like, oh no.
Oh, God.
But no, it's Hard Hat Harry. Oh, he was alive.
Was he?
Yeah.
The next match on this show, unfortunately, features one of my favorite wrestlers, psychology-wise and stuff, but he is part of this nightmare, getting a payday, I know. Bob Orton Jr. faces Hellraiser Thor, which is actually Ludwig Borga.
No, I got to say something about his name. Can I say it?
Okay. Yes.
He's named Finland Hellraiser, in parentheses, Thor.
Thor, right.
So, if Hellraiser is in parentheses, that would indicate that that's his nickname, correct?
Right. So his first name is
Finland.
Right.
So his name is just Finland Thor.
Right.
It's fucking stupid.
Sounds like a Bond. Sounds like a Bond villain.
Yeah, it's like his first name is Finland.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Bond. The environment, you Americans.
And I don't even hate Ludwig Borga. I hate him.
Oh, I don't either. I thought in the boring ass WWF of late 93, early 94, he was good stuff. In the feud with Luger and all that. But
he was a shit human being, but as a
Right.
talent, I fucking despise him or anything.
A fucking Bob Orton Jr. story that I fucking absolutely love.
Sure.
I can't remember who the writer was, but there was a writer on one of the podcasts, and he talks about, he's like, so we're doing like the Raw anniversary, and Piper and Bob Orton Jr. are there. You know, he's like, this is the first time I've ever seen him. So I go in and I'm like, Mr. Piper, it's an honor to meet you. And Piper, of course, you know, Piper, he's like, oh man, he's like, I love you, kid. Look at you. Look at what you're, you know, you're so respectful, you know. And he goes over to Bob Orton Jr. He's like, Mr. Orton, it's nice to meet you. And fucking Bob Orton smoking a cigarette. He's like, yeah, it's fucking nice, kid. That's, you know, but fucking shake my hand. Oh man, fucking Bob Orton Jr. Man, he cracks me up.
Well, this match is. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I was just gonna go into like the few notes that I have of this match, which is terrible.
Well, you probably have more than I do, so you go ahead and do that.
Well, it is for the Southern States title, for whatever that's worth. The Golden Greek says that Bob Orton Jr. looks like a midget compared to Finland Thor, and they're the same height. Like, he doesn't look like a midget.
I think he meant width-wise, because at this point, Ludwig Borga gained quite a bit. I think he was eating some of that Finnish chocolate.
But well, then you should have said he looked skinny compared to him, because there's fat midgets. I mean, I've seen them.
We're going to see a few later on too. There's midgets on the show.
Yes. And then Bob Orton ends up bumping into the table at ringside, and Herb Abrams sells he got knocked down. Basically, Herb Abrams would do anything that he could do to inject himself into any kind of match or anything like that. He is, like Nate said, he's a fucking money mark, and he is whatever. And then there is no winner. Oh, go ahead.
So which is worse, him bumping into the table, or when fucking Eric Bischoff acted like he was getting blown away by the fucking helicopter Nitro?
If you would see this bump that Herb did, it's Herb. It's terrible.
It's he gets bumped the whole night. Everybody's pushing him around and beating his ass, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, because he owes everybody money.
Right.
Fuck you.
So like I said, but Orton bumps into the table, barely hits Herb, and Herb flies back, and his drink goes everywhere. And then it's a double disqualification, and they end up brawling at ringside and out into the crowd and everything like that. And it's just it's a big Donnybrook that nobody wanted to see.
I'm absolutely losing it over here, because as we're going through the show, I keep laughing, because the more we describe it, the more it's like, man, this Herb Abrams guy's such a fucking clown.
Yeah. Why double disqualification though? Like, oh, we got to keep fucking Ludwig Borga fucking strong?
Especially since this is our last fucking show ever.
Right.
I mean, I know they didn't know that, but
oh, they knew it.
Well, I'm sure Herb did. But yes, this was awful. The next match, unless Archie, you had anything else on that last thing?
No, I'm good.
It's a midget match, as Archie alluded to. It's Little Tokyo, who I didn't think was even still alive in 1994.
Wait a second, though. You're forgetting the Sid Vicious promo about his new T-shirts.
I might have missed it, because I was fast-forwarding through the commercials, so I might have missed
Did you see it?
Yeah, Sid says that having Sid Vicious's face on your shirt is just as good as having an autograph. So buy a shirt.
From Nolan, an autograph on a baseball from Nolan Ryan. So once again, Sid Vicious was thinking about softball.
Well, they couldn't find the scissors, so.
Ooh.
I don't know what to tell you.
Little Tokyo and Karate Kid might be the best match on the show. I didn't know Little Tokyo was still alive in 1994, but God bless him.
Neither did he. Carlo Gianello, or whatever his name is, asks the Golden Greek, did you ever wrestle a midget? Like, why would you ask him that? And he's like, no. And then he tells us, do you guys know why they call him the Karate Kid? Do you guys know?
No.
Because he's into karate.
Okay. Is that the way it's explained?
They call him the Karate Kid, because he's into karate. All right.
Not only the best match on the show, but then best analysis on the show.
Yes, and in the Karate Kid, if you guys don't want to watch this show or have seen this show, he looks like somebody put Dave Meltzer in a dryer. Shrunken.
Oh, well.
That's what he looks like. He looks like little Dave Meltzer.
You can only get 2.5 stars max out of this guy.
Yes. Doesn't matter if you're in Tokyo or not. Looks like a little Dave Meltzer.
And he's wrestling Little Tokyo, ironically.
Yes. Who looks like little George Takai.
Oh my.
Now I want to see.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'm not even being comedic. It is comedic, folks. But I'm not even being comedic in saying this is the best match on this show. These two little midgets had a hell of a little match.
They wrestled their little hearts out.
Yes, they did. And you know what else? They dwarfed the competition in this match.
They came up just a little short.
What are we, Bobby Heenan in 1986 here?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think karate worked a little stiff because he gave Tokyo a couple small potatoes.
All right, moving on.
Well,
the next match, and I have to take the first. What?
You didn't give the results.
Oh, Little Tokyo wins this one.
And you also missed.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a small mistake, but we'll get over it.
Fucking show's gotten low.
There is a point where Karate Kid, he gets a little racist too because he's trying to work the crowd and he knocks down Little Tokyo and he calls him he said, "Everybody, look at this goofy Jap." That's what he said.
Oh God!
When Hulk Hogan called you goes in.
Yeah, it was a little racist.
You know what might have been entertaining, Nate, if would have happened on this show? If during the midget match, a guy dressed in a Godzilla costume would have came out and just destroyed them.
That would have happened if it was in Japan. What's that promotion in Japan that has like guys dress up like monsters, like movie monsters? What DDT?
Pro.
Yeah. Japanese wrestling sometimes is like wrestling on acid.
But it's funny. If you watch it, you will laugh.
You will laugh. You won't call it wrestling, but you will laugh.
Right.
I like watching that big panda bump people. It's fun.
Yep. It's funny.
The next thing here is I I have to take over the first comments on this match because I have it's this fucking show. How am I gonna be like, I have a big problem with this? But anyway, I'm watching a train wreck and I'm like, I'm taking serious notes. So we have a guy named the Irish Assassin, and he's going against a gent named Samson. Samson is replacing Hercules. But they are billing it as a revenge match.
Yes.
My point is, if Samson is replacing Hercules, who obviously wants revenge, how is it still a revenge match?
Because Samson found out that Delilah hired this guy to cut his hair.
No.
But Hercules wanted the revenge.
No, it's because we paid for the graphic and we're using the
right. They ain't giving me back my money. Just use the graphic.
Oh, Herb Khan. I'm just saying.
Hercules isn't here. Shit. Well, damn, that's all the reason why I came.
Hercules decided he'd rather go team in Japan with Scott Norton, and that's fine with me.
They made a great team. I know. He made the right choice.
This match is booty, and Samson wins. I guess everybody agrees with me because nobody said anything.
No, we all went quiet.
There's nothing to say about it.
Right.
Well, the next match is for the MGM Grand Championship.
Jesus Christ.
And it is the Wild Thing, Steve Ray versus Sabretooth. But actually, it's Tyler Mane. And, man, another not.
Like I said, like Nate said, if you guys aren't aware, Taylor Mane played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies. That's who this guy is.
He was also Big Sky in WCW.
Yeah, in WCW.
Yes, he was.
And for
Wasn't he also in the Master Blasters?
No.
No, he wasn't a Master Blaster.
But he once again has another. The only match that I remember with Tyler Mane was him as Big Sky against Charlie Norris in WCW, and it was garbage. And this match was garbage as well.
Well,
yeah,
they can only try hard.
But the good thing about the match with Charlie Norris is the winner got firewater at the end. Okay, it fell flat. I'm sorry.
Did they even try to be creative with these fucking names?
No. Steve Ray didn't even come out to the good version of Wild Thing. He came out to some knockoff version of Wild Thing.
Yeah, and Steve Ross. He introduces Wild Thing, Steve Ray, and his unnecessary comment that he likes to hit is, "Wait till you get a look at his jacket." That's what he says.
It was a pretty cool jacket.
Here he comes down the aisle. Wait till you get a look at his jacket.
That's what he says. Wait till you get a look at his jacket. At first, I thought he said, "Let's all look at him jacket," and I'm like, "Oh no!"
I think it'd be funny if he came out without a jacket.
Right. Right.
Let's all look at his jacket. Without a t-shirt like Steve Austin in WrestleMania. Like, fuck.
And Taylor Mane is wearing a onesie that looks like a lion. So that's his thing.
God bless him.
Thank God his acting career went better than his wrestling career.
Well, he wins the MGM Grand title, does Tyler Mane, and then Herb Abrams presents him with the belt. It's probably covered in Coke, but Mane gets the title nonetheless. The next match is a women's match. It is Candy Divine against Tina Moretti. Those of you that don't know, Tina is, at one point, she is Ivory in the WWF. Yes.
No.
But the the ring announcer. Is it the ring announcer that calls her Candy Devian?
Yeah, he calls her Candy Devone. That's what he calls her.
Candy. No, I thought he said Devian.
I think he said Devian, and then I wrote down Devone. So I think he did. I think he said both. And the only other note I have in here is that Candy Devine looks fucking pissed to this guy. Like, she is fucking mad. Like, you just fucked up my name, and she ain't happy about it.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure if she wanted to, she could probably whoop his fucking ass.
More than likely.
Because them lady wrestlers at this time were fucking tough. Not saying they're not now, but they were fucking chain smoking, beer drinking, fucking tattoos on their forearm, ass kickers at this time. You didn't fuck with these broads. I'm just saying. And they didn't mind you calling them broads either. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Ivory's the hot one, and I'm not even knocking Ivory, but when Ivory's the hot one, I'm saying, because Ivory could fuck you up too.
In this match, the match itself isn't terrible, but it's short.
Yeah.
But Candy Devian goes over here. And anything else on this one, guys? Like I said, it wasn't bad. It was just short. And they worked, They did fine.
Candy Divine did fine.
After that, we get a Dr. Death's Steve Williams promo discussing his match coming up for the UWF Championship against Sid Vicious. Dr. Death, one of those guys that is no doubt, a hard-hitting, amazing, bell-to-bell professional wrestler, but the guy was never a good promo.
Never. Yeah, he should not be cutting up. He should have a Jim Cornette or somebody with him at all times.
Right. He definitely needed a mouthpiece.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Not fucking Oklahoma.
No.
That was the worst goddamn thing that has ever.
I don't know how he agreed to that after he was such good friends with JR.
Because they probably fucking told him this is what we're doing.
He could have walked out.
At the time, also, he was kind of bitter about his run in the WWF.
He didn't like JR at the time.
Oh,
I shouldn't say he didn't like it. He wasn't just, they had like a falling out because, according to what Ross said, Williams didn't think that JR took care of him enough when he got in there.
Well, promises were made and not kept.
Pretty much.
The next match on this show is for the UWF Tag Team Championship. It is the Killer Bees against the new Powers of Pain, which are the Warlord and the Power Warrior.
Which is one of the Power Twins.
Which is one of the Power Twins. And everybody knows what a mark I am for the Warlord. He looked good here. The match itself isn't terrible. The Power Warriors or the Power Twins do a switch during this match, kind of ironically because of the Killer Bees doing the mask confusion, but the Bees still go over. But this was silly.
It was, and I put Greg Valentine's name in this, even though he's not on this show. But at this time, when any of these money marks would show up from like 94 through 96, the 3 or 4 biggest guys that would just glom onto these guys, get as much money out of them, were Tito Santana, Greg Valentine, Bob Orton Jr., and the Warlord. They were in all of these fucking 6-month fucking shows. You know what I mean? Like, they were all on it.
I think Paul Orndorff kind of rounded it out to number 5.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking them either.
AWF. No, not at all.
Yeah,
don't forget Snuka.
Yeah.
For as addled as his brain was, he knew how to find him a money mark too.
It's almost like these guys would make up an argument with Vince so they can get fired and then go to these promotions and get paid all that money real quick and then go apologize to Vince once the promotion closed. You know.
Yeah, but Darren's right. Definitely Tito, Warlord.
Without a doubt.
Bob
was all over him too. And the Power Twins tried the switch, but it didn't matter because it didn't even fucking work. And the Killer Bees end up becoming the new tag team champions.
Woo!
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
You won the belts of a dying promotion. Congratulations.
Up next, after that one, we get a Jimmy Snuka promo, which is literally your standard Jimmy Snuka promo. Like, it's like Jimmy Snuka has this promo in the can.
Brother.
Well, I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, he couldn't read. So it's not like it was going to be
out there in television land.
TV Wonderland.
TV Wonder. Yeah, that's what it is. TV Wonderland.
TV Wonderland, Technicolor, brother. And like I said, he's another guy that you can say terrible fucking person, obviously, but that dude captivated me, man. Like, I loved watching that shit from like late 70s and fucking early 80s, him cutting his promos and shit. Fucking great. And
well, you know what? He talked people into the arena.
Yeah, and he didn't get to do it much in the WWF. Well, I mean, he did because he first went there as a heel, but he started getting over. Like, but when he went to like the Indies and this time and shit, it was kind of cool because he did. Yeah, he was also a fantastic fucking heel, like with his eyes and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's working heel here. Because Cactus is the face or whatever.
He embraced, what do I want to say? Something that that I will say about him, and this may be something that Taker learned from Snuka, was Snuka knew his gimmick, he knew his role, and he lived that shit, you know?
Yeah. But this isn't going to be like us jacking off Jimmy Snuka fucking show. Cactus Jack and Jimmy Snuka in a lumberjack match. Cactus Jack comes out to Tough Enough. Who sung that song?
I don't remember.
Wait. The cat. What was it? The Cats. The something. The amazing something or another. No. I know this though.
While he's doing that, you're telling me that there's a lumberjack match with Cactus Jack versus Jimmy Snuka. And
yes.
The match is still the best match card.
Well, you're going to find out what's going on here. But
Aaron, the answer is the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
All right. So the Thundercats sung it, right?
Yes. Why no?
The Fabulous Freebirds sung Tough Enough?
Yes.
Anyway, joking around. Cactus comes out to Tough Enough, and then Jimmy Snuka comes out to the Hawaii Five-0 theme.
Yes, I have to actually have that in my notes.
That's what he comes out to. And mind you, this is a lumberjack match. Okay.
Who's the lumberjack? All from
just all the jack-offs that are on the show. It's not like they brought in special people. It's just
give
all
it up for Dr. Feelgood again.
It was just
out there, just like all the talks we just talked about. They just bring out this fucking carnival of crap, and they stand around the ring, and fucking the match is going on. Jimmy Snuka and Cactus Jack end up brawling outside the ring, and the lumberjacks fail to get them into the ring, and they brawl up into the crowd, and the lumberjacks,
the crowd. They brawl past the crowd of 600.
I don't
You
think
it was that many.
I tried to use my voice as much as I could to make a verbal fucking air
quotation marks. Yes.
Crowd. Yes, they brawl through the crowd, and the lumberjack match ends in a double count out with no winner.
That is the end possible.
Of the lumberjack match.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
It's fucking by sucking on fucking Black Jack Mulligan's mustache too much. That's how.
God damn.
But that's why the midget match was the best match on the show.
And Kyle just threw in the towel. God damn it.
Like, how do you fuck that up?
Yes, and that is the biggest thing about UWF is you look at the talent that Abrams was willing to get with however he got his money, Blackjack Mulligan printing it or whatever, and he still managed to fuck it up. It still managed to be fucking terrible. You know, like you said, it's Cactus Jack and Jimmy Snuka. How do you fuck that up? Oh, you completely ignore the established rules of professional wrestling and have a double disqualification in a fucking lumberjack match. That's how you fuck that up.
It wasn't even a double disqualification. That would be fine. Because all the lumberjacks get in and there's this big brawl and the referee throws it out. It's a double count out in a lumberjack match. Which the whole purpose of a lumberjack match is to avoid a fucking count out.
And my next note on this show is I'm watching this 3-hour show, but I feel like I'm watching WrestleMania 32 because it won't end. Right. It's like it's 3 hours, but it feels like it's 7.5 hours. I'm into Roman and Hunter in the main event of this 8-hour fucking pay-per-view that won't end. This thing won't end. But anyway.
It's about to.
Real quick. Since you brought it up, I gotta touch on it. We watched that shit live.
Yes, we did.
It first here comes The Rock, and we're like, Roman and Hunter are gonna follow this, and then Austin Foley and Sean come out, and we're like, Roman and Sean are gonna follow this.
Wait, are you finding the closing promo of this?
Nope.
Is that what you're doing?
Oh. Nope. But yes, that pay-per-view was just like, it's like my wife's been asleep for 3.5 hours, or she's like, dude, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Fucking god damn it. I made the fucking snacks. You motherfuckers suffer through this shit.
Death, but this is too fucking much. You told me they were 3 hours long.
Yeah, she was like out. Like, I'm fucking out. The main event's about to come up on this pay-per-view, and I had posted this little video clip in our Facebook group, but we've been talking about it through the show. And for those of you that missed it, this is to me the biggest evidence of how cracked out or coked out Herb Abrams is. Here is Herb Abrams hyping us up that the main event is about to start on this pay-per-view. This crazy beaver, like cracked out beaver looking dude.
Midget beaver.
Looking like Danny DeVito. Here you go.
He wishes he looked like Danny DeVito.
Herb Abrams.
He's a midget beaver.
We're going to go now to Herb Abrams instead of Steve Rossi.
Thanks, Cactus. Come, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. The showdown will take place. Steve Dr. Ned Williams puts the title on the line against Militant Sid Vicious.
And how that man didn't just die then.
Couldn't understand a fucking word he said.
Did he call Sid Vicious
malicious? We're going into the next match. And he said, we're putting malicious Sid Vicious Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
My God.
That's how he said putting the title at ba-da-da-da-da-da. It sounded like he was yelling the shit that Chevy Chase would say on fucking Caddyshack when he'd hit the golf ball. Yeah, he was like,
He was trying to come down. He was trying to come down. He was too high. I need to get regular. It's the main event.
You do drugs, Danny?
You do drugs, Bobby? Billy. Yeah.
This fucking dwarf.
Billy. Well, Dr. Death comes out to defend his title, and he comes out to the opening of
anything for love.
Yes, the opening of Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love.
But I won't do that.
So I guess that is losing to Sid Vicious.
I hate Kiss. Okay, I hate the fucking band Kiss. They're fucking garbage. All right, like they have like 3 good songs, and if you've been around for 87 years and you only have 3 good songs, that means you're a fucking garbage band, even though you have 3 good songs. All right, and one of the good songs they have is that Kyle's a music guy, so I might fuck the name up of it. I don't know, but it's that "Live It Loud" song or whatever. Kyle, you know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Death came out to in Japan, and him coming out to it is fucking awesome. So why wouldn't you just use that? No, he's gonna come out to fucking Meatloaf, who's also fucking garbage, and you're gonna pick one of the shittiest fucking songs. And fucking Dr. Death is coming out to I Would Do Anything for Love. What the fuck is going on?
By this? I should be intimidated by this.
What do you? Anything greater if he came out the fucking dashboard? Dashboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Aaron and I part ways on Meatloaf. I like Jim Steinman and Meatloaf. I do. But I like rock operas.
I do.
But I totally agree that Meatloaf is not the vibe you want for Dr. Death.
It's not the vibe you want for your pay-per-view.
And I know he's dead, but if I ever would have met Meatloaf, I'd be like, why don't you get to the fucking point with your song? Your fucking album's 8 hours long, 3 fucking songs on it. Get to a fucking point.
I'm going to ask you 3 gentlemen a question because I've been racking my brain since I watched this. Name me one wrestler you think could come out to Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love. Because I can't see it.
Dude Love.
It's not. No.
One wrestler that would come out to I Would Do Anything for Love?
Well, that would have fit for because Nate said, why would you want that vibe for Dr. Death? I wouldn't want that vibe for anybody on a wrestling show.
I was just trying to think of somebody that would be funny for their fucking theme song, to be honest. Mel Phillips.
I would do anything for feet.
Yeah, he would do anything. China. That was dark. Sorry.
That was really dark. Too soon, man. All right, so
Snuka.
I didn't mean dark at the end.
Snuka.
Snuka works. Works for
He
Snuka.
buddy. Anyway.
All right, so this match happens between Dr. Death and Sid, and
it was trash.
Well, but during the match, there is one impressive thing.
Talking about the Dr. Bomb on Sid?
No, toward the end, the suplex off the top rope from Dr. Death to Sid is pretty impressive. That was good.
Oh, Sid? Oh, sorry. Like I said, the match itself is not very good, but it's one of the only people that I've ever seen, and he's probably one of the only people on the fucking planet that could have did it, that was doing whatever he wanted to do to fucking Sid. That play in his career. You
and Sid knew it going in. You can watch the match and know that Sid knew tonight I'm not doing any fuckery.
Yeah, Sid's working with him. Sid's working with him. Sid does a fucking cross arm, like he does I might remember it wrong, but he did a fucking flip over like cross armbar deal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he was working with Dr. Death. He wasn't just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna fuck you up. Sid was just like, all right, man, whatever you want to do,
brother. Yeah, whatever you want to do, brother.
Like there's probably only like 2 or 3 guys that in 94 that could have done whatever the fuck they wanted to do to Sid at this point in the business. And not even saying Sid was a shooter, just talking about with how big he fucking was. And it was the Doc here and probably Rick and Scott. That's probably would have been the only guys that could have done what the fuck they wanted to do to him.
And Mang.
Yeah. Mang could do whatever he wanted to do to any fucking body.
Anybody.
But the match ends with Dan Spivey attacking Dr. Death when he's going to pin Sid. And I don't have a lot more notes.
No, like I said, Dan Spivey attacks and ruins the match. And this is once again Herb feuding with Dan Spivey, yelling at him about fucking up the match. And it turns out Spivey and Vicious were in cahoots the whole time. And basically Steve Williams challenges Sid to face him at the next Black Jack Brawl, because I forgot to mention, they've mentioned throughout the show that there's going to be 3 extravagant Black Jack Brawls, which we don't get 2 or 3, but the next one is supposed to be Steve Williams versus Sid Vicious in a steel cage, which Herb yells at us at the end of the show. And
Herb
then
yelled through the entire show.
Yes, but he yells at us that this is the main event for the next one. And then they also had Spivey and Sid, who are supposed to be the skyscrapers, cut a promo, okay? And the cameraman is standing inside the ring while Spivey and Sid are standing on the floor.
Why?
Think of that.
Won't be anywhere near them.
No. Think of how stupid that is.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
These are supposed to be the skyscrapers, and they're looking up at the camera. It's fucking retarded.
Cameraman was on cocaine, too.
Like, he was looking down at the skyscrapers.
And they're now the condos.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
This pay-per-view or TV broadcast or whatever it is, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Do you guys want me to play the audio of the end of the show promo from the skyscrapers? Because it's really bad.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So we're going to do that because we can. This show, folks, seriously, be thankful if you haven't watched it that we watched it for you. Don't watch it.
Please don't watch it.
You know, a lot of times we go, hey, yeah, watch the show so you can know what we're watching. And don't watch it. Don't watch it because, God, I almost just wrapped the sheet around my neck and it's like, how am I going to kick the bucket out from under myself?
You actually wanted a slow, painful death? I was looking to get it done quickly with a gun.
Well, I'm going to watch this promo while I have my slow, painful death.
I'm going to go watch it after we're done.
Oh, God, Kyle, I love you, man. I don't want you to do that. I don't want to lose you.
Tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll kill myself if I want to.
It's my party, and I'll die if I want to.
Here is the end of this fucking abortion. Here is the audio.
What a great World Championship match this was here tonight. And I have to tell you, Daddy Spivey, once again, you are the fiend, you are the scoundrel, and you St. Vincent are just a double-crossing dog. You know, I thought tonight when I saw this man, it was the funniest thing I ever saw in my life with this goofy jacket. But you, Steve Williams,
Goofy jacket.
knowing that my mentor, the man who has taught me everything, was in the building the same night that I was to meet you. Let me tell you something, Sid Vicious. You and your hired assassin are nothing but a couple of double-crossing, yellow fish-jumping rats. I saw what you had to do, and I don't think that Steve Williams, you've heard the last of, probably be in the parking lot when he gets out of the hospital. And I'm going to tell you something. Steve, I'm with you, brother. Hey, that's enough. You know, that's just like the pot calling the kettle black after all the years of the crap that you've done, Black Jack. Morgan, every dirty book, trick is you ever used.
Every dirty book.
I've learned from you, brother. And you know that, Morgan. Me and you go back, way back. Some people change, Daddy. Some people change. That's right. And you change. Right. You know, some people change. Some people change. And Steve Williams still has the belt. Steve Williams still has the belt. Have it long. Because either Sid or myself will get the belt.
That is the most god-awful fucking...
Oh, it's terrible. And he's trying to say every dirty trick in the book, but he just says, every dirty book. What, Playboy? Hustler?
Every whack mag you ever had.
You gave it to me, and I read them too.
It was
Every
just
dirty
pages
book.
and it was just pages and pages of full harried beaver.
Every dirty book pages were stuck together.
Every gooey book.
And speaking of beaver, make sure you subscribe to the Log Cabin bi-monthly.
Way to bring it back, Archie. Good job.
That's right. Got to close with
Every
selling
dirty
the merch. Every dirty book. Oh, man.
Every dirty.
Aaron, how many of these?
50 Shades of Spivey.
Aaron, how
Club
many more of these do we have to watch?
4.
4? You know I'm going to kill you, right?
Okay.
Not before you kill yourself.
Right. I'm going to haunt you.
Back to my sheet and bucket analogy.
What's the next one we're watching?
The next one is going to be, I believe, December to Dismember.
Okay, that's not as bad.
No. You're probably right. No, I don't think that is. You might be right.
Hold on.
I know
I'll go check
this is what we have coming up in the fall of fuckery. Is we've already watched, like we said, UWF Black Jack Brawl, but coming up, I don't know if this is the order that they're in, but it's WCW New Blood Rising. Then we will also watch WWECW December to Dismember, Fall Brawl, WCW Fall Brawl 95, and WWA Eruption, which I think is the next one.
You want us to commit suicide with that one.
But
I have a question.
Which one do you guys want to watch next?
I have a question. What do you got against New Blood Rising? It was actually a decent pay-per-view.
That was the one that I suggested.
Fuck off.
Okay.
That's trash.
It's not that bad, actually.
When we were conceiving this, New Blood Rising and December to Dismember I believe, were the two that I came up
Oh,
with.
well, December to December is terrible. I mean, we know that. But, I mean, New Blood Rising had a couple of shining moments. Wasn't all great, but it was, you know.
Nope. That is bad.
Nope. I mean, I'll watch the WCW pay-per-views with no problem, but that WWE pay-per-view is going to be.
Well, how about we end with? How about we end with Eruption? That's what she said.
Yeah,
That's what I prefer.
she says a lot.
I don't want to start with it. I know that.
That's usually what happens, but
I swear to God, this has never happened to me before.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Forrest Gump, but anyway,
it must have been that 8th fucking Washington apple. I don't know what happened.
Next time, let's do December to Dismember.
Sounds good.
Here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. So, guys, any parting words on this Herb Abrams edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast? Kyle Army.
I'd do anything for love.
But you won't do scat.
Ew.
Maybe. Depends on the price. I'm like the $1 Million Man.
Everybody's scat. Aaron?
Just that I'm looking forward to all this. It's like I told Nate, like my favorite thing in the world is just shit fucking pay-per-views and shit wrestling. Is just being able to just dissect it, and sometimes bad wrestling is better than good wrestling.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, Kyle and Archie didn't get to hear me say it, but the old expression old chicken makes good soup.
Yeah.
You almost combine them as
bad wrestling makes good podcasts.
You almost combine them as a thing. You try to say Kyle Army, but you're like Kyle Archie.
Kyle Archie.
There was like a nuclear attack, and they were like standing too close to each other.
I'm gonna get them to do. I'm gonna get them to do a podcast together, and it's gonna be Kyle Archie. Archie, your parting words this week?
Yes, Aaron Maxon, every dirty book you've ever read. No, I would like to say that I watch a lot of crap wrestling weekly because I do modern wrestling. So, Aaron, I feel this is a front to me and torturing me to watch more crappy wrestling.
I would rather watch crappy 94 wrestling than now.
AEW.
But that's just...
I think this will be fun. I enjoyed it. We definitely laughed. So,
and say what you want to say about Herb Abrams, but he gave us something that fucking years later is still giving people some sort of enjoyment.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is still going down in the annals of wrestling history.
Yes.
Not the annals, but the annals of wrestling history. Thank you, Herb Abrams, for butt fucking up this week.
Yes. God bless you, sir. And you went out like a fucking champ.
Covered.
You guys know how he died? Oh, Archie left. But yeah, Herb went out.
To hear that story.
Yeah, Herb went out like anybody would want to. High on coke, covered in baby oil, with a bunch of hookers, swinging a baseball bat. God bless you, sir.
Until next time, Godspeed.
Yeah, thank you, Coked Out Negan. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the We Can't Wrestle podcast.